We are happy to be with you today to talk about going back to school. We will be providing you with information on some of the ways school will be different this year and ways to help your child or children prepare. If you want more information, send us an email. Our email is on each slide. I'm Natasha DeCoste and am one of the deployment coordinators at the Halifax and Region Military Family Resource Center. I grew up in a military family and served in the Canadian Armed Forces myself. We invite you to question and explore the information we provide and choose what makes sense and what will work best for you and your family. Whether your child is starting high school or pre-primary, school is going to feel a little unsure for all of us, from students and parents to teachers and staff. We'll start with some of the basic info for going back to school. First day of school is Tuesday, September 8th. Staff and students are the only ones that are going to be allowed in the school, but take your child to school, put them on the bus, and take those first day pictures. The link on your screen is from the Back to School plan from the Nova Scotia Department of Education and Early Childhood Development. It explains the plans for schools opening at 100% capacity and if schools have to close. I'll go through a few of the main points in it. Everyone will clean their hands as they go into the school as well as throughout the day. There will also be enhanced cleaning, especially of the high surface areas. Masks in the hallways and school buses. Grades 4 to 12 will wear a mask inside the school unless they're seated at their desks, and as long as their desks are 2 meters apart and facing the same direction. Masks will not be worn during indoor physical activity or when eating. Students will keep to cohorts or groups for their classrooms or homerooms. When possible, teachers will move classes outside. Playgrounds can still be used, and students will clean their hands before going back into the school. Physical distancing will happen in the classrooms and the hallways. This may mean that extra or unnecessary furniture is taken out of the classroom to allow for the desks to be further apart. Different classes may be scheduled at different times for recess, lunch, or for being in the hallways. Get in touch with your school if your child receives additional support, such as speech or tutoring or guidance, to see how these services will be delivered for this school year. There may also be arrows on the floor in the hallways, maybe even in the classrooms. Screening tools or self-screening tools for staff, visitors, and students. So these are the questions that we've all been asked since COVID started. Do you have any symptoms? Fever, cough, traveled outside of Atlantic Canada, been in contact with someone who has the virus or has traveled, or are you waiting for test results? If your child has any symptoms, stay home. Keep in mind that things are going to change multiple times before school even starts, and more as the year progresses. Are you serious? Love this picture. How is my child going to keep their mask on? What if they lose it? Will the school have extra masks? How are they going to keep kids apart from hugging? How are they going to keep kids apart when making TikToks or videos? There's no magical answer or solution to this, unfortunately. These are the things to ask your school or your teachers and talk about with your child. So what can we do? Help your child or children practice wearing a mask. I'm sure most, if not all of us, have been wearing a mask for a while now, but practice wearing it for longer periods of time. You could set a timer for 10 minutes at first and gradually increase the time. Students will be supplied with 2 reusable masks from the school, but I would send a backup mask and a small bottle of hand sanitizer in case your child loses or trades their mask. You know something's going to happen. Talk about giving friends air high fives or air hugs. Talk about why we need to wear a mask. It helps stop the spread of the virus and keeps us healthy. Talking with your child about some of the possible reasons may help in getting them to wear a mask a little longer if they're not wanting to. Some people aren't wearing masks for a variety of reasons. Explaining why may help if your child is anxious or worried about seeing others without masks inside the school. So for example, some people have breathing problems or feel anxious wearing a mask. If your child cannot wear a mask, contact your school to develop a plan. Routine can help everyone ease back to the school year. This may take some time given that our routines have been out of sorts since March. Routines can be broken down into different parts of the day: morning, after school, evening, to get ready for the next day. You could include making lunch, where to put used masks, when to wash your hands when you get home, how often you want everyone to wash their hands. Remember, things won't be perfect. Things will take practice and time and patience. All of us being patient and open-minded will help us manage this new way of going to school. What's your back-to-school routine? Think about maybe earlier bedtimes, Again, wearing masks for longer periods of time, maybe practice hand washing and using hand sanitizer. So what if there's a second wave of the virus? Plan for the possibility of school closures and possible virtual learning. Did you do virtual learning back in April to the end of the school year? Think about what worked well. What would you change? The Center for Education has a plan outlined for students who do not have a device for at-home learning or have limited access to a device. And that's all outlined in the back to school plan that we'll provide a link to. Maybe you need to set up a separate learning space for your child or children to be able to focus on schoolwork. This could be in a separate room or a shared space in a main area of your home. Are there friends or family in your bubble that can help with schooling if you're back to work? Some families have decided to homeschool this year. The homeschool link is on the screen if that's something you're interested in. If you're interested, you let the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development know that you want to homeschool your child, and they provide you the information and the direction to get it started. Let's talk a little bit about your child's mental health. School is going to be different this year, and things will be changing and adapting as it goes, and this may impact their mental health. We need to make sure that we're taking the time to look at our children and really hear what they're saying and guide them through their worry. If children don't understand why they're feeling a certain way and don't have the words to describe those feelings, it can add to the anxiety and frustration they're already feeling. Help your child learn coping strategies, such as deep breathing or muscle relaxation, where they tighten their muscles and release them. Help your child problem solve through what they're feeling. Maybe they need to move, head to a playground, run in place, or do some stretching. Or it could be the opposite, and your child needs to have a rest and some downtime. You offer your child love in a supportive environment and know them best and can see if there's changes in their behavior. I think there'll be a change in everyone's behavior as we adapt to the school changes, but if a change in behavior is impacting your child or your family negatively, reach out to the school for support. We'll mention other resources towards the end of the recording, and we'll include them on the slides. So what strategies do you use if your child needs your support? To be a good parent, you need to take care of yourself so that you can have the physical and emotional energy to take care of your family. Make sure you take care of yourself as you help your children through the school year. If you're working, either from home or back to work, take time for yourself each day or each week, whatever works for your family schedule. You can't take care of anyone else if you're not taking care of yourself. So what do you do for you? This may be meeting friends for coffee, going to the gym, taking an online class. Here are some of the resources available to military families. MFRC programs and services are here to support you. We have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week phone line that can answer questions or refer you to our mental health and well-being counselors. You can reach the deployment team through the email at the bottom of the screen. If you're experiencing a deployment, there is a deployment app that was created by the Esquimalt MFRC that has countdown features and deployment tips. The CS Members Assistance Plan, or CISMAP, gives you access to free confidential counseling services in your area. The Family Information Line can also answer questions and provide support to families. Strongest Families is a free phone consult program that supports adults and children with anxiety. They offer a military family option as well. The links on the screen are websites that have information about how schools are going to adapt during this year. So the Government of Canada, the Centre for Disease Control, and the Nova Scotia website offer different links to information about schools. And think about the resources you already have. Maybe even write them down. So what personal and community resources do you have? Who are your people? What are your social supports? So this could include family, friends, and neighbors, a minister or spiritual advisor, coach, mentors, teachers of your own or teachers of your children, a church group or community group, fitness, clubs, and schools. These networks can be lifelines in difficult times. Kim Mills is a Canadian military spouse who blogs about military life under the title She is Fierce. She has this great quote, "Friends, the definition of resiliency is not who can endure the worst while using the least help in order to ensure bragging rights later. In fact, it's the very opposite. Strength is found in asking for help, not taking it all on alone." Thank you for joining us. Going back to school is a stressful time for all of us. It's going to take us digging deep for patience and understanding. Reach out to your school if you have questions or concerns. You can also reach us at the deployment email on the screen. We wish you a safe school year.